How are you?
How you doing?
Any items from the public? Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Let's have it. Are there any questions on the purchase log? Hearing none. We do have one internal budget revision, Mr. Ryan.
You do, Mr. President. The sheriff is requesting authorization to move $4,000 from his material and supplies line item into his court cost line item.
Good. Our change of status this week, we have a hiring recommendation received from Jennifer Swisher, Director of Emergency Communications, from Berkeley, as a telecommunicator trainee with an annual salary of $48,674. That's effective 10/25/25. A recommendation received from Jennifer Swisher, Director of Emergency Communications, for Joanna Myers as a telecommunicator trainee with an annual salary of $48,674. That's effective 10/25/25. And notice received from the Honorable Anthony Petrucci, County Clerk, to remove Emily Shellen, a Deputy Clerk, from payroll effective 9/15/25. We can leave the minutes from September 11th in. Everyone was present. We do have a bond reduction as submitted by Engineering Department, Opal Meadows, grading and final, BCP file number 2503-067. Let's tie the BCP file number 2311-367, that's for a final, and 2407-0336 for grading. That's LLC number 364, and that's the Bank of Charlestown. Anybody have any questions on that? And I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. It's moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Next up, Larry Hess, our assessor, on some tax exonerations. Good morning, Larry. How you doing, sir?
Well, not too bad. How about yourself? I got a couple things here this week. First thing, we have taxpayer error. I have two. One forgot to mark off the vehicle. The other was had moved out of the county. But these are the first offense. So two for that personal property taxpayer error. Total of $755.52.
I need a motion to approve the two personal property tax exonerations for taxpayer error as presented.
So move, Mr. President.
Second.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Good, thank you. I do have one taxpayer error, but now this is for real estate, not personal property, so we had them separate. It was wrong tax class on their farm applications, and we had to correct it, but it's for $846.20.
I have one real estate tax exoneration as explained by the assessor.
Second.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
Good, thank you. For personal property office error, I do have total of 5, and they do total up to $15,915.94. And the big one up there was for the state tax department. This is the second time they've done this. They've added the personal property that was, for a business here. They added it, so it got added twice. They did that a week or two ago. But it's a matter of $13,740.
So how does that get corrected? I mean,
you guys have to correct it, and then we correct the ticket, but,
next year.
well, I'm gonna call state tax department, and so they take care of all the business, industrial stuff. So we don't touch that stuff. We don't go in there to change anything. But I'm gonna get a hold of the guy that does the monitoring down here and handles those. But that's twice they've done that, so I don't know why they're doing that or what the problem is. But I'm gonna try to figure it out and get a hold of them. But That's twice they've done that.
Thank you.
But I'll see if I can clear that up so it won't happen again. But I do have, so they total up to, like say, $15,915.94 for those 5.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the 5 personal tax exonerations as described.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. And you have 2 real estate exonerations.
Yeah, I do have two real estate exonerations. We had to correct. What's that?
Another big one.
Yeah, that. The first one is for a wrong tax class, but the second one for Martinsburg Development, that's the Martinsburg Mall. And this is like the third one that I brought to you for the same exact reason. It's for when John does his commercial stuff. If you put in, there's one identical building, it'll price out one building. There's another line spot that you can put in. If you had, let's say, like 6 townhouses in a row, you could measure one and put 6 or 5 extra in this other spot. It'll calculate that first one 5 times. So he's put in here, there was 2 buildings up there where Bonton used to be, where the furniture place is. There's another part of that added to that. So there's 2 buildings in that one on card 2. So it's an honest mistake. So John put in 2 buildings, but he put it in the wrong line, put it in a spot. So it calculated that whole square footage 2 different times. And so this is the 3rd time he's done that. And I said, John, at the end of the year, we're going to run a report on all commercial property that's got more than one in that line item where you can add identical units, and we're going to proof them. So basically, this is they will be a double. Well, it wouldn't be half because I think there's like 7 cards on that mall. They have what's his name? Walmart separated out, and I think the Italian restaurant is separated out. Olive Garden.
But the new One Life that fall in there too, the new gym.
That's all a separate parcel.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but no, it wouldn't be half, but it would be because it's just on that one particular building in that card of 7 cards. So
at least this one, so it got charged twice. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it got the building that's on card 2 got charged twice. As 2 identical units, instead of 1, it's got charged as 2 identical units. So it's when you make a mistake with commercial property, because I did commercial property for 10 years, I know it amounts up to a lot of money real quick because you're dealing with millions of dollars in property. So if you double up something like that, it adds up pretty quick. But anyway, that again was for those 2 comes up to $71,030.48.
Okay, need a motion to approve the 2 real estate exonerations as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. And you do have a consolidation of property.
I have one, that's my last thing, I do have one consolidation for Michael Hessler. And he has 2 parcels in Georgetown District, and in map 39, parcel 18.3 and 18.2. And we want to put them together so he could get just one tax bill. So I need to get your approval on that, so we could put that together for him.
All right, I need a motion to approve the application of consolidation of property as presented.
So moved.
Second, any further discussion? Favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, Lord.
That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. Have a good
Thank
day.
you all. Have a good day.
Board and commission vacancies. Has Bentley White been cleared with the 911 advisory board?
Have you interviewed him?
Yes.
Brad Wright?
Yes. The lawyer. representing South Berkeley?
Yes, he was here. Yes, he was here.
But can we make that appointment today?
You have one.
Excuse me? That's fine. I'd like to maybe make that, somebody make that appointment, today for Brad Wright to, on the 911 advisory board.
Need a motion?
Yes, sir.
A motion to do that, put Brad Wright on the 911.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All fair say aye. Aye. That's how, thank you. Let's just go here for, meeting, Mr. Wilson.
I had a Main Street meeting this week. I had a meeting on others, so I didn't get to go, but I did get a rundown of what I went on. They mostly discussed the upcoming meetings for the next 2 months. In October, they're going to vote on new officers. In October, they'll also be meeting to discuss the Main Street transformation strategies, which is Main Street America agenda that basically looks at revitalization efforts and underserved market demands in the area. So they'll be going through that in the next meeting in October. In November, they'll vote on the budget. And then Robbie attended the West Virginia Main Street Brownsfield Conference last week, and Martinsburg won Economic Development Award for the Inner Building Project. And then also coming up here 1st of October, they do have the food truck festival downtown.
Very good.
And then I did attend the groundbreaking the other day. Eddie, you were there as well, and spoke. You did a good job, and for the new hospital, and that looks really nice and something we've needed for a long time.
Great investment.
Yep.
Commissioner Hardy.
Planning Commission meeting on Monday night, kind of just typical Planning Commission meeting, no public hearing, but we did move forward some projects. Had a Telemon meeting yesterday, but somehow in my technical wisdom, I locked myself out of it and couldn't get back in. So I apologize for that part of that meeting that I did attend and no one could hear me, and it was a hot mess. So I'll try to do better. It was a different app that I'm not used to using for. It wasn't Zoom, it was something different. I apologize for the miscommunication with that meeting. I'm sorry I missed the groundbreaking for the hospital. I would like to attend that, but business just wouldn't let me allow to have time to get away. But I'm excited about that. I've been very critical of WVU for the last 4 or 5 years and was very vocal in my last role. Stating that WVU needed to do a better job in Eastern Panhandle, and they're getting ready to make a $300 million investment, and that's huge, and I'm happy for that. I'm glad that they're making that investment in a growing community, that the community continues to grow, and we need some more doctors and more places to go. As I said, Ruby and Moore was a wonderful facility. We really want to go there. So it's great that we're spending the money here in this community in Berkeley and Jefferson County, and I applaud WVU and all everyone involved in that, and I'm excited to see that move forward and see that new parking stuff out there right now. But I appreciate you gentlemen making the meeting, and sorry I couldn't make it.
Yeah, well, I think you got the right people in leadership roles. I really do, and the board of directors out here is top notch. Their executive director, excellent, and got great communication skills. So I think they're going to do really good things out here. I really do.
Exciting time.
And I hope so. Commissioner Whitaker.
Yes, sir. My apologies to WVU and you all for that groundbreaking. I had a Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority meeting on Monday. The project that they were having a little trouble with on the stormwater management release has all been squared away and all taken care of, and they're moving forward with that to get that to city limits. Project is about, they said, right around 30% forward. And I give accolades to Elaine. They have a clerk of works that helps them, on the job site, but she worked very diligent with the city of Martinsburg and Kim in there to get the stormwater management issue. And accolades to Elaine to get that happen, or to get it done. Then we had an airport authority meeting. Not a whole lot has changed. They're pretty much on budget, and I feel like we made the turn a little bit. We've got a positive side of the bottom line right now. 1st of October, the new New Columbia Air Services will be in here. They're still gonna take a little bit of time to get all the equipment that they need put in a hangar, and then probably will receive the first airplane for maintenance or sale for around December, November, December.
Which hangar are they going to be in?
MRB South, it's the
RB South.
the one that sort of sits in front of the old Sinus-Swearingen building. It's a standalone all the way to the south side of the airport.
You had a meeting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had, was
With,
it?
Senator Manchin. was
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Nice. Very good. Thank you.
And they had planes and pancakes on Sunday. I don't know if anybody made it out to that, but I want to tell you, there must have been 1,500 people there.
Really good.
Yeah. And it was very successful. No, but these were all district. But it was well attended, and I think I was duly surprised when I pulled in after church. I went, well, looks like I won't be standing in that line. I'll move around somewhere else. Yeah. And they're also going to do a trunk or treat out there at the end of the month.
Good.
And that was well attended last year. I bet there was probably 500 participants for that. So they're looking for donations or anybody that wants to come out and decorate their trunk.
Is that just for children, or can, like, I go get kids?
You can come and get it.
You shouldn't drop it from a plane.
That can be. Many years ago, when I worked out there at the airport for the crop duster, he got hired to drop ping pong balls, and
We hired him.
you hired him, yeah. He painted a few cars with him.
The firefighters and police officers used to have a softball game, and we hired him to drop these ping pong balls. We was giving gifts away. It was a mess.
One thing that didn't happen is that when the door, you do emergency dump release, well, that door, the ping pong balls weren't heavy enough to drop the door open, so he had to go back and, he said, put me 100 gallon of water in there. That worked real good. So 100 gallon of water came out and dispersed over everybody.
Like the turkey drop on WKRP.
KRP, I had a lot of fun out there. It was a experience that I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Mr. Catlett.
I had 4 things scheduled for Tuesday evening, so I went to visit the, which I thought was important to me, horses parts facility. And it's, I've known the lady there for a number of years, Kay, but I've never been to the facility on Fowles Crossroad. And I got to witness the clients that they serve, participating. It was just a moving event, to say the least. I just praise the work that she's doing and her staff down there to help these people with disabilities to better themselves, not only physically but mentally and emotionally as well. So it was awesome. I wish them nothing but the best of luck. Their goal is to eventually get an indoor arena, so the program is available year round instead of just during the warm months. They have to close down basically for 4 months during the year. Also on Tuesday evening, I attended the virtual meeting that the Board of Ed had with the CEFP Advisory Committee. John's going to say, well, what's CEFP stand for? So I have that answer for you. It's the Comprehensive Educational Facilities Plan. And Eddie and I are serving on that. It's their 10-year plan to see where they're going to go with the development of new schools and facilities over the next 10 years. And so I know one of the things that's dear to my heart that they're looking at is to build a new middle school for the Edgeville area. The school that those folks in is not ADA accessible in a lot of the school, and it's over 100 years old, the main part of that building. So something that's really needed. And Eddie mentioned also last week, instead of a new high school, they're really looking at a facility that will either increase the size of James Rumsey or create a new vocational, they call it career tech now. Meet the needs there. I think we're really, if anything they could do to help kids, I think that would be the best way they can spend money. To be at those events, I missed the stormwater and the sewer meetings, but I talked to Curtis yesterday, and for y'all's interest on the stormwater permit, our MS4 permit that's been you know, we've been waiting to try to get this new permit for over 3 years now. And so they've taken the next step with Richard Lewis to file another grievance against the DEP to move forward with that. But in saying that, it looks like the EPA has now approved a new version of this statewide general permit that they've been trying to obtain for several years now. And so the question is, do they give us an individual permit, or do we have to wait and become a member of the statewide general permit? So when we're in Charleston next week, hope to address this issue with the head of the DEP. We have a meeting scheduled with him, and get some clarification on this as to where we are. So also, I look forward this afternoon to attending the comp plan meeting that we're having here this afternoon for the county's new comp plan. And I'm looking forward to this evening's event, the Heroes Dinner at the Senior Center. Hoping that it'll be, I'm sure last year they netted almost 10,000, and I think they're hopefully going to exceed that this year. This will be the second annual of this event. So, and then HD and I are leaving on Sunday morning. If I can get him out of bed in time, we're going to leave Sunday morning to head to Canaan for our CCA, County Commission Association meetings, and we'll be back on Monday night. Looking forward to that trip as well. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Last Saturday, I attended the Morgan Cabin fundraiser that they have up there every year. And of course, they always have the cabin open. They've done so much work to it. They've taken such beautiful care of it. But being there, ran into Clint Hogman. Clint is out and about, doing extremely well. He asked me to report back to you all that he's still in the fight, but hey man, he was doing really, really well. You know, I was just almost brought tears in my eyes just talk to him because I know the struggle he's been through. He was there with his wife, and I thought he was doing extremely well. So Clint, if you're watching, keep going, brother. Don't look back.
In good spirits.
Yeah, very good spirits. And I did participate in the hog calling contest this year. My first year ever. I did not win, but my little granddaughter did. Lacey
Again, the whole call.
hog calling contest. Yeah, that's a big deal.
He gives a demonstration.
I'm a champion in maybe to do that, but not me.
Was it the local cabin or has a home caller?
It's fun.
The year that I went, they had a goat milking contest.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the cow calling is soo, soo, but I've never heard of a hog call.
Yeah, well.
So I'm interested.
And one of the big topics of conversation there was Baker Heights had their engine tankers go down, lost a motor. So it's going to be about $13,000, and they were willing to split the difference with the fire board on that repair. And then, you know, if you don't fix it, the truck is virtually worth scrap. So it was worth the investment to be able to keep that truck on the road a little bit longer. And Baker Heights is willing to help with that expense. So that was very helpful. South Berkeley, their extrication equipment that they currently have, their hydraulics are obsolete. They're no longer able to get parts for. So they've got some money, I think, through Senator Barrett, and with their funds and the fire board funds, they will be able to replace their extrication equipment with the battery-operated tools, which is really a big deal for them. They're on the interstate a lot, along with Baker Heights and Bennington are the three major departments that are on the interstate. So we got to make sure these guys get good stuff. On Friday, I attended a small ceremony where the state fire marshal came in and presented Lieutenant Jeremy Taylor's wife and family with the line of duty death. You know, we lost Jeremy last year to cancer, and the documentation proved the fact that it was a job-related illness that caused his death. And so I was very proud of the fact that the chief of Berkeley Fire fought to get his family this recommendation to receive from the State Fire Marshal's office and the governor's office. And I appreciate Governor Morrissey's support in this as well. But this is a big deal for Jeremy's family. And this is something that professional firefighters across the state of West Virginia have worked for many, many years, as well as our own local personal or firefighters from local 5045. They all worked hard, and this is the kind of stuff that they need to continue to improve upon because of the cancer stuff that they get themselves into. Also, as previously mentioned, I did attend the WVU groundbreaking, and I had the opportunity to speak for a couple of minutes, and just really excited about the investment that WVU is making here in Berkeley County, and it's going to be another wonderful addition to our community. So that ends up my week pretty much. Next up, Will Armson, a state hearing of Dorothy McDaniel. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have quite a bit of business this morning, so I'll get right to it. First, we have the estate of Dorothy Lee McDaniel. Ms. McDaniel passed away on June 28th, 2025, a resident of Berkeley County. On July 29th, 2025, the decedent's daughter, petitioner in this matter, and named executrix Ginny Whipp, presented my office with a copy of a will for probate. My office informed Ms. Whipp that the rebuttable presumption in West Virginia when a proponent of a will cannot find the original is that the will was destroyed, and that the fact that the original will cannot be found is intentional. To rebut this presumption, Ms. Whipp filed the attached petition. Other than the will's lack of original status, the will meets all legal validity requirements under the West Virginia Code. Furthermore, the will does not vary from intestacy in the slightest. Indeed, all of the decedent's 3 children take a residual share of all probate assets under the will, same as would happen if there were no will. The key difference is that the copy of the decedent's will waives bond for Ms. Whipp, making it easier for her to qualify as the executrix of the estate. With that, and without objection from any interested party in the audience, I ask for this Commission's consideration in allowing the copy of the last will and testament of Dorothy Lee McDaniel to be accepted into probate in solemn form.
Very good. You've heard Will. I need a motion to support his request.
Mr. President. Accept the will in solemn form.
Yes, it's been motion and second to accept the will in solemn form for Dorothy McDaniel. Been properly moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. 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 Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Next, we have the estate of Alita Jacqueline Clayton. Ms. Clayton passed away on October 29th, 2024. On November 19th, 2024, Blanche Meister presented my office with an original, unattested, seemingly valid last will and testament. Due to the lack of attestation, meaning no self-proving affidavit signed by the witnesses swearing to the circumstances of their witnessing the will, my office typically gives the proponent of the will 2 options. Either 1, track down the witnesses after the fact and have them sign an affidavit swearing to the circumstances of the will's execution, or 2, petition to probate the will formally in solemn form. Obviously, the latter is chosen here. It should be noted that our code does not require attestation, meaning the wills in West Virginia do not need to be notarized. But the code does require that all witnesses sign in the presence of each other, and that they actually witness the testator sign the actual document. Thus, to clear up any kind of confusion as to the will's proper execution, my office asks for these formalities to be adhered to. Otherwise, we ask for a hearing before this body. Let's see. It should also be noted that Ms. Meister, friend of the decedent and petitioner in this matter, as well as the named executrix, is a resident of Arizona and was unable to find the named witnesses on the attached will. It also explains kind of the long time between the will's placement in my office versus now only we're getting the will in solemn form. It's the fact that she's not a local resident, and it's kind of difficult to get back and forth. The will gives specific instructions for pet care for the decedent's pets, bequests multiple tangible assets to Ms. Meister herself, and then gives other assets to various charities. With that and without objection from any interested party, I ask for this commission's consideration in allowing the unproven will of Alita Jacqueline Clayton for probate in solemn form.
There's a good bit of folks here today. Are any of them here for this particular?
I do not know.
Okay.
Does not appear so.
Very good, thank you. Okay, need a motion to approve the will of Jacqueline Clayton to be accepted in solemn form.
So moved. Second.
Then moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir? Okay. Next, we have the estate of Peter J. Boykin. Mr. Boykin passed away on July 25th, 2025, a resident of Berkeley County. On August 12th, 2025, the decedent's son and petitioner in this matter, Ronald Andrew Boykin, presented an original unattested will dated May 1st, 2009 to my office for probate. Again, due to the unattested nature of the will, my office presented Mr. Boykin with the two options moving forward, and he chose to petition to probate the unproven will in solemn form. This will is clearly professionally prepared, but was done so in Howard County, Maryland. As you may know, Maryland has what is called a register of wills, whereby testators can, while still living, file their wills on public record, thereby negating the need for any attestation of the will itself. The testator saying, we did this will legally and executed it properly. They're telling you that. Therefore, we don't need any kind of attestation after the fact by the witnesses. In West Virginia, we do not have such an office, and we do not record wills of living people, which creates issues of affirmation regarding the will's execution, hence our legal requirements as they are. As stated, the will is perfectly valid and grants all residual assets to the decedent's two children to be split equally. With that, and without any objection or comment from any interested party, do we have anybody who wishes to? Okay, come on in.
Well, sir, state your name for a record, please.
Good morning. My name is Ronald Andrew Boykin.
And is there anything that you wanted to present to us verbally or otherwise?
I'd just like to get it approved so I can handle his estate, so
Understand.
my sister and I can put this behind us.
Sure, I understand. Very good. So there's nothing, you're not contesting anything that
No, not at all.
Allison said. Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, without anything further, I ask for this commission's consideration in allowing the unproven will of Peter J. Boykin for probate in solemn form.
Okay, need a motion to approve the estate of Mr. J. Boykin in solemn form. The move and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. 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 Ayes have it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so you're going to take a breather for a minute, right? Or you finish, you moving on?
I believe we have everybody here and present to go for the Schisler matter, if
Okay.
you're prepared.
Sure.
All right. Lastly, we have the estate of Jesse Edward Schisler III. Mr. Schisler passed away on March 8th, 2024, a resident of Berkeley County. On May 19th, 2025, CNB Bank petitioned the sheriff to open the decedent's estate due to multiple claims that the bank had against the decedent, but no way to file them since the decedent passed away more than a year prior and still no one had opened the estate for probate. The sheriff was appointed at that time and has since been serving as the estate's personal representative in accordance with West Virginia law. On May 22nd, 2025, the sheriff's office personally visited the decedent's real property, only to find a Andrew Michael Dash living on the property. Mr. Dash is the decedent's nephew and named executor in the will later filed. Mr. Dash reportedly told the sheriff's office that he was, in fact, in charge of the estate via a will, even though a will had never been presented to my office and never opened the estate for probate with my office. The sheriff's office appointed Mr. Dash to my office and instructed him to file the will as soon as possible. Mr. Dash never did. After multiple phone conversations with my staff, Mr. Dash never presented the will to my office and has since been charged with various crimes related to this estate. Finally, on September 2nd, 2025, the will at issue was presented to my office and recorded on public record. Typically, by function of law, when a will is presented after an intestate estate is already opened, the original will is given way, meaning that the named executor takes over by function of the will. This commission doesn't need to do anything. The will controls, right? However, these are not the facts in our case, since the petitioner of the will, with the aid of their attorney, is not the named executor. Mr. Dash is the named executor. And again, he has waived his rights to serve in this capacity. Let's see. Instead, the decedent's son, Jesse Edward Schisler IV, I believe is here this morning, filed the will on instruction from his attorney, Kathy Santa Barbara. The will specifically disinherits Mr. Schisler IV, but Mr. Schisler IV has had Mr. Dash sign both a quitclaim deed as well as an assignment giving Mr. Dash's interest of the estate assets to Mr. Schisler IV. Irrespective of both these acts, my office and this commission are bound to the will's language, and the fact remains that Mr. Schisler IV is disinherited from probate assets in that will. Same will appear on the record. As such, if Mr. Schisler IV or anyone wishes to serve as the estate's personal representative when they are not the named executor in the will, they will need an adequate bond to secure the assets of the estate. Knowing this, Mr. Schisler IV still wishes to proceed and has petitioned to remove the sheriff's office in favor of another to handle the estate and its assets. The sheriff's office has informed my office that it has no objection to its removal by this commission. With that, I do not know if we have any further comments. Without further comment or objection from any interested party in the audience, I ask for this commission's consideration in removing the sheriff's office as personal representative for the estate of Jesse Edward Schisler III in favor of another third party, so long as they are adequately bonded.
Very good. So this motion is to accept the removal of the sheriff's
office. That is correct.
Executive of the estate.
Yes.
Correct?
That is correct.
And another one will be presented as long as they're bonded, accepted by your office.
That is correct, sir.
Very good. Need a motion to help us out there, all right?
Second. To remove the sheriff as the current administrator.
Yes, sir. Okay, it's been moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
All right. Given the factual nature of that specific case, I'll prepare an order that's a little more pointed and presented to you by the end of business today.
Yeah, it's when I was reading through here yesterday, it's a little cloudy.
Indeed. Yeah. Indeed. Well,
do we know who the third party will be?
At this point, no. It's going to be dependent on who can get it. The issue is going to be real estate. The will does give power of sale, which gives power of sale kind of in a murky language, as to who has power. Presumably, any personal representative would have that authority. Thus, I have to bond against its sale. Okay. So that creates a bit of an issue. So, in any event, I will have that order to you by the end of business today.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. Next up, we have Joe Elliott, Executive Director of Community Alternatives to Violence. Proclamation of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Good morning, Joe. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I am Joe Elliott. I'm the Executive Director at Community Alternatives to Violence. We are the Battering Intervention Prevention Program here for the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia. Standing with me today is Claudia Bentley, who is a member of CAV's Board of Directors, and Nicole Rome, who is the Director of Outreach Services for EPIC, which is the Eastern Panhandle Empowerment Center. EPIC serves, assists, advocates, and supports those experiencing domestic violence and other forms of personal assaults and violence. Year-round, EPIC and CAV stand together, working to break the cycle of domestic violence by supporting those who are currently being harmed, who have been harmed, through direct victim services that EPIC provides, and by the intervention and prevention services that CAV provides to those who are dealing with harm. We know that strong community response to domestic violence is key to stopping it, to breaking the cycle, to building strong, stable, and safe families, and to creating safe homes for children to grow and thrive in. Domestic violence affects each and every one of us, whether we're aware of it or not. It might be in our own families, it might be in our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers. Domestic violence is pervasive. It does not discriminate. It does not have boundaries. It affects all of us. It harms all of us when our community members are not safe in their own homes. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's a time for all of us to reflect upon domestic violence, honor those who have been harmed by it, and to help us all better understand it, what it is, what it looks like, identify it, and learn about the available resources. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge what has happened in the news. It's just coming over the news this morning. I found out last evening because a cousin of mine lives in York, Pennsylvania, and her husband is a law enforcement officer in the area. So our family was alerted. He is fine. Every day our law enforcement officers go on some of the most dangerous calls that are out there, and those are the domestic calls. Whether it's an active domestic, whether it's a domestic that has ended, or whether, as in happened in York, they're trying to serve a warrant that is related to domestic. And we would be remiss if we didn't take a second to honor all of those men and women who keep us safe. So in October, CAV and EPIC especially team up for events, education, and awareness raising in our community to let folks know that we're here, what we do, how you can reach us, that our community supports survivors, that our community believes that healthy change is possible, and that we believe that everyone deserves a safe home. So we are here today asking for a proclamation affirming Berkeley County's commitment to this coordinated community response and to help us, especially during October Domestic Violence Awareness Month, to raise awareness of the issues and the availability of the community resources. So on behalf of EPIC, on behalf of CAV, our law enforcement, and everyone who's working to end domestic violence in our community, I thank you for giving us a couple of minutes of your time this morning.
Very good. If you don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and read your proclamation.
We would be honored.
You okay with that?
Yes.
Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month is observed nationally in October to raise awareness, support survivors, provide education to break the cycle of domestic violence, and to honor lives lost to domestic violence. And whereas domestic violence is a serious health issue that affects the individuals and families in every community, regardless of age, race, gender, economic status, or background. And whereas domestic violence can take many forms, including physical, emotional, psychological, sexual, and financial abuse, and it leaves long-lasting trauma and challenges for survivors and their loved ones. And whereas the effects of domestic violence extends beyond the immediate victims, impacting children, families, neighborhoods, and society at large. And whereas the Berkeley County is committed to fostering safe communities where individuals and families can live free from violence, abuse, and fear. Whereas Community Alternatives to Violence and the Eastern Panhandle Empowerment Center are jointly hosting events to raise awareness and funds to support their work to end the cycle of domestic violence. And whereas Berkeley County supports and encourages efforts by community agencies, volunteers, and citizens to raise awareness, support survivors, provide education to break the cycle of domestic violence, and to honor lives lost to domestic violence. Now therefore be it resolved that the Berkeley County Commission does hereby proclaim October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and encourage all county employees, all county officials, employees, community agencies, and residents to cooperate in the effort to raise awareness about the issue and the availability of community resources to break the cycle of domestic violence adopted on this day, September 18th, 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you. Need a motion to adopt the proclamation.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? My only comment is, as a society, should be ashamed we even have to have this conversation.
Agreed.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Picture? We're all ready for a break. Okay. All right. Yep, let's take. we're back in session. Next up, Chad Weinbrenner, Deputy County Administrator. Order setting the start date for the collection of impact fees.
Morning.
Chad.
So on July 24th, Berkeley County Commission adopted the impact fee ordinance. As part of that ordinance in state code, you had a 45-day period which you had to pause on, which was used to gather a petition of voters which would have had to place the impact fees on a ballot. The 45-day period has passed. You have received no petitions. So now it is time to set the collection date to begin collection of the impact fees. When we passed those fees, we had originally had a discussion about October 1 being that date, but the order before you is suggesting a November 1 date. We could use another 30 days as we continue to work through some administrative things. We've come a long way. We are almost to the finish line, but between working on all of the collection procedures on our end and making sure it's the best it could possibly be, and then partnering with the city of Martinsburg to make sure that the impact fee collection within the city goes smooth and seamlessly, an extra 30 days would be ideal. So we are proposing a November 1st implementation date for the collection of that.
Very good. And I think there's been a lot of work done, and really for a short amount of time, quite honestly, with the capital improvement plan within the city, that the Parks and Rec has created their plan, and that the school system will be working on completing their plan if it's not already. But to just support the fact that those impact fee dollars collected in the city will be used in the city. And I think that that's a really a great opportunity for them. So, motion to accept the start date of the collection of the impact fees for November 1.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Been moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, Chad. Next up, Gary, State Budget Revision Number 2, Fund 001.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have $772,348 of revenue that I have proposals of where you put it. It varies from billings from IT services, billings to Jefferson County 4-day report service. There's some grant monies in there, and so on and so forth. So I'll walk you through where I'm proposing the commission allocates the money. The first department is 428 IT, $80,000, which would increase and make their new budget $3,046,495. Account 442, which is federal grants, increasing it by $40,000, making it $140,000. Department 443, which is state grants, increasing it by $188,088, making the revised budget $288,088. Sheriff's Law Enforcement account 700, adding $74,108, and those again are for billed services, making the revised budget $8,619,912. The Sheriff's Service of Process account 701, adding $9,000. If you'll recall, you approved them taking a part-time process server and making it full-time. That's your commitment to that. To make their new revised budget $738,579. Pardon me. Account 711, which is your fire department, adding $40,000. That is to cover holiday pay for the new staff. You'll be seeing another revision to Department 711. We just recently billed the fire board for their part of it, but that money's not here yet. So the revised budget for 711 will be $3,622,903. Department 717, which is central garage, adding $20,000. Those are insurance claims and vehicle claims that have come in to pay for services to repair. Their revised budget will be $366,399. Department 731, which is your day report center. I mentioned the services rendered for support of Jefferson County. This is to cover those salaries portion of those salaries to increase by $121,152, make the revised budget $4,603,796, and then $200,000 added to your general government capital outlay account, which is 960, to raise it to $950,000 for a total of $772,348.
Very good. Need a motion to approve revision number 2 to Fund 001.
So moved.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 You guys okay with it?
Thank
Thank you.
We're talking about the ayes.
Okay, thank you. Ayes have it. Next up is a Water District bond waiver request.
Yes, sir. So you have a request, and you've seen this often, particularly with the growth at the Water District. In your construction processes, as you well know, you have bonding requirements to protect the project in the event the contractor walks off or the project developer walks off. And in this instance, they're an arm of you. This just saves the ratepayers money. So they're asking for a waiver for the bond, the bond for their $2 million gallon water tank on Ridge Road. Asking for a waiver.
Motion to approve the waiver for the Water District on the water tank on Ridge Road.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Next up is the bid recommendation for cruisers.
As you'll recall, the commission went to bid and opened bids last Thursday for police interceptors at law enforcement. One of those 4 is for a recent totaled vehicle, and the other 4 were planned acquisitions for this year. You had 5 respondents. Of that, Parsons Ford here in town was the lowest bid at $234,465. They did meet all specifications, and that is their recommendation.
Very good. Motion to approve the bid for the police interceptors for Kent Parsons Ford in the amount of $234,465.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Good to see that stay in county.
Yes. Next up, Gary, is the RFQ real estate and auction services.
Yes, sir. Sheriff Blair continues to do his due diligence and go through the processes required by law to ensure that everything he does and his team does in the tax office is in line with the goals and objectives of the law. In this instance, he has processes where he takes possession, has to sell real estate and or have something cleaned up and so on and so forth. So we published a request for qualifications for these services. They range from auction services, real estate sales services, home cleaning services. They got to clean a house out, so on and so forth. You had 2 respondents, Edwards Auction and Realty from Hedgesville, and then Hurley Real Estate and Auctions from Greencastle, PA. The sheriff, Lieutenant Christian, and myself interviewed both candidates. Both met specifications. Both were very impressive in their delivery. As you all know, Edwards Auction is local. Their price points were very, very similar. But the sheriff believed, as you'll see by the memo, that the best choice for these services is Edwards Auction Service. What he's recommending is a 5-year contract renewable October 1st of every year.
Very good. Motion to accept the recommendation from the sheriff to accept Edwards Auction and Realty for the services provided as provided through the RFQ.
Make a motion to accept that.
Second.
Then motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up, sir, is the David Report transportation van.
Yes, sir. So if you recall, the commission on September 4th opened bids for a van for use for transport purposes at the Day Report Center. Should be noted that this is 100% grant funded. You had one bid. This bid is from a company called Cadetco LLC from 18 Ashton Place in Wheeling, West Virginia, in the amount of $45,989. We've gotten bids from these folks before. Tracy has communicated, and we do believe maybe this is an actionable transaction. We don't pay for anything until we're in possession of it, so I don't have great concern, but we are recommending that they be awarded the bid, but I don't know. We're gonna find out. We'll see if it shows up with title in hand and an invoice.
Okay, need a motion to accept the bid from,
Why wasn't there any other bid?
We never have luck buying vans. Matter of fact, if this falls through, I'll probably be back in front of you and ask you for an emergency purchase, if you will, where we'll just skip the bidding and go get 3 prices. I think, Mr. Vice President, they aren't mass produced, but they're sold, they're easy sold. It's
Sell as fast as they get them out on the market.
That's right. So when you walk in and say, hey, can you give me a price this week? If it's a good price, I'll come back next week maybe and buy it. And here somebody walks up and says, hey, I'll buy this today. I just don't think, it's just a market that
Availability.
it's tough. Yeah. We had that, we don't have it with trucks and we don't have it with police interceptors, but when we try and buy these things, it's a hot mess. It's hard.
Yeah, coming from an industry where we use vans, I've purchased many, many vans through my career, and they are tough to buy. They don't sit long, they move quickly.
all right? All right, need a motion to accept the
So
bid
moved.
from Cadetco LLC for the 2025 Chrysler Voyager in the amount of $45,989.
So moved, Mr. President.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. And next is the courthouse facilities fund.
So the most recent expansion to your courthouse facility is the old jail. As you well know, you spent close to $1 million renovating the interior and the exterior for security purposes to house a judge with no funds from anyone to help you do so. Elizabeth Lapchick, doing the great job that she does, has gotten us in a position to make application for the total roof replacement of that place with the 20% match. So I have the 20% match if the commission so chooses. And if you've looked up and seen there are missing shingles, there is some tar that we've spread and so on and so forth. So we didn't have the money to work this into the original budget, but we knew that this would qualify for the courthouse improvement grant. So if the commission so chooses, you get 125 for 25. It's a good parlay.
Excellent opportunity.
Yeah.
It's the lady that's always at our meetings.
That's her.
Promoting this. And, I mean, really, if we had the need, we ought to request one every year.
Has to qualify, but this surely does.
That's great.
Okay, need a motion to approve the request for the West Virginia Courthouse Facilities Improvement Grant for a 1-year grant for a total of $125,000 with a grant match of 20%, totaling $25,000.
Also moved.
Second.
Moving and second, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Thank you. And next is Parks and Rec.
Yes, sir.
for
So,
Oktoberfest.
as you know, and as you've seen advertised, this is just some housekeeping efforts. You own the property at Poorhouse, and Parks and Recreation is working on hosting their first Oktoberfest event there. Your insurance policy as owner does not cover you for purposes of liability for alcohol sales. They have their 1-day license with the ABC in line. Also attached to this is their policy for that event to cover them, $1 million liability policy for the alcohol sales. So if the commission so chooses to allow that to happen on your property.
The only problem is they have Oktoberfest in September, but they did spell it OKTO instead of OC, so I guess we overlooked that.
As close as they could get, the 27th of September. Okay, need a motion to approve the request from Parks and Rec.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Yeah, I think that's going to conclude it. Our day.
We could use executive session for real estate.
Okay. Well,
Need a motion to go to executive session for real estate.
So moved. Second.
We're back in session. There will be no action taken. Let the record show there's nobody here from the public. I need a motion to recess.
Before we recess, Vice President Catton would like to see the hog call by Commissioner President Bogenaar before we adjourn.
I need a motion to recess.
I'll make a motion that we recess.
We're in recess.
I knew that wasn't gonna happen.